Here, and I'll be teaching you how to make a tree in Minecraft anyway. You see these trees right behind me, as you can see. You will be making one of those. And we'll get closer to the forest. Well, it's an actual forest. You can only see the two trees as for right now. I'll show you the forest later on in the video. Now, before we get into building the actual tree, we can take a look at the trees itself. Besides these trees, this one is a working in progress one right now. It's supposed to be a dark oak tree. This one is the just a bigger version of the like those trees down there, not the birch, the oak, the bigger version of the oak. And I'll be teaching you how to make like different type of trees as nice as these. We'll fly out a little bit farther away because working not as close as the big trees over here. Well, let's build it right here where I've dropped my fireworks apparently. And I've already had collected the blocks that we'll be using. Saplings, dirt blocks, and the materials for the honey on the inside. Well, let's build a normal oak tree. The oak tree will need these materials here that you'll usually see in a, like, oak tree. Not oak. Yeah, this is an oak sapling. In an oak tree itself, oak strip claws, oak log, and oak wood. These are and oak leaves, not to forget those. Now we take the oak wood and we'll make the bigger your tree, the more random shape it needs to be. But we're going to make a very small and simple one. You go make a cross like this. You take this, I don't remember how many you go across. I always count by head. You go across this side and on the other side, pretty much the same amount. And all you have to do is attach the two sides. Since this is... There we go. I have built it in such a weird way that I can actually do this. There we go. This is for like the smaller trees. When you're building the smaller trees, you build like just across and then make a circle with it. I usually tend to put this on the inside, the shroom lights, so when you're building, the mobs won't spawn on the inside because there's plenty of room. Now when you're building up from it, you go one in, and then like you build up from there. Just put one in on all of the sides, as I am doing now. And you can look at my tree. So far, it's the beginning parts of a stump. And you see the parts right here. You put that, put the middle piece in, and you make a T shape. You have a T shape. And now you take your T, you put another block on top where you just put it. And now you have the beginning parts of a stump. And the shroom lights. The shroom lights, you can put the blocks up here, like up one or two. And you don't need to break the blocks under, like inside of it, because you won't be able to see it. And this is the layer that you will start building up from. Once you got the stump done, the stem part is what you can freestyle at. So you can go up any random amount of blocks for your stem to make it more realistic looking. And once you get your stem done, you can take a look at the outside and say, is this a bit too too even for you, or like basic for you? What I like to do is build this part and start looking on the outside and build up from my basic design, so it looks more organic with a different shape. So I'll build up like one corner that I just did, and then on the other side I could just build up this corner too, so it looks more organic. As trees usually don't have, like, real life trees don't usually look the same on every side of the stump. So it's always good to just mix it up a bit when you're building a tree. It's the same with any organic materials like plants or like leaves. Leaves will never be the same. They're never going to be the same color. It's like when you talk to someone and then the person you're talking to is not going to be exactly like you, and your trees won't be exactly like each other. So you need to build them not exactly like each other, so it gives a more realistic vibe. And to give them a more magical vibe. We'll give a more magical vibe. We can give it a lot of height. We'll just stretch it out like I've done with these two trees. Now, once you get into this part where you like the shape you have already and you have like not much room to go in anymore, you can go out actually if you want to keep going. So you go out one block, put a block on top of it, and then break the block underneath. So now you have this shape. And you do it the same on the other side for the small trees anyway. And now you have that. And you start building up for your little shape that you have. I don't know what you call this shape, actually. Once you build up a decent height that you like, the higher you build, the more you need to think of what do you want to add to your different shape, or like how do you want to change the tree up, like add little more blocks upwards, or add little oak leaves on the side to give it more personality. So once it's big, like a big tree, once it's the tree that you want to build, it will be nice and green and leafy, which I need to add leaves to on the sides for some of the trees I've built. Now, you take your oak wood, and you see this shape, this basic shape. You go in now once you have done the shape that you like. And if you got into a part where, like, say you want to do this shape, and then you have an open space right there. So you take your glowstone, not glowstone, I'm old school, your shroom lights and your honey blocks, and you place it right here. And that will lights it up when it's night. But we're not going to do that. We're going to have it like this. So when we're building upwards, actually this itself needs to have one of those weird shapes. So will be a smaller version of what we just had. And you build up like 3 blocks. It depends on how tall you want this. I am freestyling this as much as I can. And once you got to the height that you want for this section, you build a little plus sign. Like in math, it's a plus sign. You've put a shroom light inside of it so no mobs can spawn, and a grass block on the bottom there. You take your oak saplings and your bone meal, and you start spawning in a tree. Now, you see that this tree is a bit weird looking. It's very weird looking. While the other trees are more bushier. To fix that, all we're going to have to do is take your grass blocks and do the same thing. Just repeat it. And don't forget to delete your grass blocks once you're done. And if your tree is floating in the air like this, just simply remove the stump that it was supported by. And don't forget to add your little leaves on the bottom to make it look like it's not like floating, it's just hanging there. So now you have one side of the tree with a bit more bushiness. You can add your shroom lights on the inside, and you do it again on the other side. So when you're let me lower this. So once you've planted the tree and grew it, you won't be able to see the shroom light. And you can always go on. You always can edit your builds later on, actually. If you've want to in the past, you always have the option to delete the whole thing with simple TNT. Now, we've delete the blocks underneath for maybe not the last time. Each tree will take some time, as will builds. It just depends on how fast you can place blocks and what is the fastest method for you. Now you see these trees are getting a bit repetitive, so now you can add some leaf blocks underneath it to make it look like it's not floating in the air and not a bit repetitive. You do not want a floating tree leaves on your tree itself. You want it to look decent, kind of like this. And you've always got to circle around to make sure it looks like the shape you want. And I'm just making sure it's it's organic as possible, so none of my trees will look the same. Now, this is our tree, our tiny tree that we've built right now. Well, we built together. And if you see any problems with it, you can always go back and, like, destroy some blocks, like this one. There we go. Boop. There. That looks so much more better. I might do that to the side, too, just to make it look like it's, that's fine. That looks good. To make it look like it's not the same all the way around. Now this tree is done. We can also, I'm gonna build another tree that is not part of this forest, but I'm gonna just have it randomly in the forest. So if we come across it, you'll good luck. Now for this tree, we don't have any of the supplies for it. Maybe the spruce might be due. I am still practicing with these trees, but I shall do it the way I know. We need stripped oak logs. We need another stripped blocked. Where is it? Here we go. Strip blocks right there. And we need stripped birch. And we're not going to use any leaves. We're going to actually use glass for this one. And my glass trick is actually way different than the Hermitcraft's glass trick. Because I don't know. I found it out on my testing world one day. I was just messing with glass. We're going to use these blocks for the tree. And with this, we will also, the shroom light, we'll use one of it in it. And we'll also use a block that gives it texture. What block should it give it texture? I'm thinking one of the slabs will give it texture, because when you're building a small peach tree, blocks, you look at your blocks to see if, what block will give you the texture you want. I am looking, ooh, yes, I need pink wool with this, because pink will always do good with that. I do not need the different colored, I only need pink window slides. Maybe this will look good with it, the birch planks. Now, let's build this in, like, the back area over here, where we're away from the path so we don't see it. Once, you know what, let's build it close to the sheep shrine that I've built earlier. Please, Rain, can you stop? You're lagging me. My toaster cannot handle this. Time, teleport, no, weather, clear. My toaster cannot handle the rain while I'm recording. Please go away. Now, this is the sheep shrine that I've built earlier, and I've, did not record it, sadly, but it's just a building in a tree that is devouring the building. There is a naturally spawned pink sheep in there, that's why I've built that sheep shrine. But we'll build the, peach, like the, what is it? I forgot what I've called it before. The, whatever. I forgot what I've called it. We'll take these blocks and start making the tree that I've talked about earlier. Make sure your blocks are facing upwards, because when you're looking at it from the side, you won't be able to see the, this, like, the top part of your stump, unless you want the top part of your tree to be there. The one I've built earlier, which is inside of the kingdom that I have on this world, I am not going to show you it, because we're only going to deal with trees. Now, we go across about an odd number. This is 5. 5 across, and let's go 5 across again. If the cross is a bit too small, you can always make it bigger by adding blocks on the edge. This tree will be like a size of that tree over there. I'll try to make it that size. And we'll start building the tree. You don't always need to you don't always need to do this as soon you're built the tree. You just need to make a circle with your stump when you're building a small tree. With this small tree, I am, of course, going to make, where's my shroom light? There we go. Shroom lights, shroom lights, shroom lights, yay. We're going to make a T here, so we'll get the T down to the T. Now, you see that the T is all connected together, and it's, made the little design that we need for the tree. Don't forget to change it up once you, like, built it and want to actually in the building process. Just don't forget to change it up. Now, you just follow the same design for this one, for the one over there. I am going to speed up this part of the video and explain what I've done once I get to the, I'll start talking once I get to the glass parts, because that's the important part for a peach blossom tree. Okay, we have gotten the stump that we need for the tree, and all we need to do is, we don't need these, strip logs anymore, so I shall put this strip log back to its rightful place. And oh, I forgot to use the birch planks. That's fine. We don't need to use it. We can probably use it in a different time. Or maybe I'll use it differently. Now I am just moving my why is it doing that? I'm not even pressing. Stop. Okay. Why is it the green bar? My screen, my poor little toaster is screaming out to me saying, "Please stop killing me." Rawr. Okay, now all we need to do is put in the leaf parts for the tree, and on the inside, we can use the glow shroom lights, the pink wool to make it more personality. And you put the pink wool on the inside, make sure it's not exactly connecting itself to the, I just accidentally broke that down. I'm going to put that back. Rain! Go away, Rain! Rain! Rain, just go away. We don't need you. Raina? Yeah. There we go. Now, we've make sure the wool blocks are not exactly connecting each other. And now when we're doing this itself, we'll do dark colored first, so the purple stained glass, and then the magenta, because there are slightly lighter color, and then we get the pink stained glass. And this effect will still give it the foggy effect that everyone tries to do with the blocks, like the see, it gives off a semi-foggy effect. And in Hermitcraft, they do the same thing, but instead they make it where it's they use the same block repeatedly and need to mine out more space. For this, they don't need to mine out more space. When I'm building this, all I need to make sure is that I need to make sure there's holes in this build. So when we're looking at it from a distance, it looks like it's a tree. Like, actually, like, those are tree leaves instead of not tree leaves. I was building one of these before when I was watching Technoblade stream that recently. If you want to go see like what the stream was about, you should go check it out, because I am not going to give spoilers to any YouTubers streams. There's a new one coming out for him though, and I just broke that block. Yay. That's fine. We just put a glass block in its place. A glass block, wool block, and purple stained glass with pink around it. This one still needs purple. I need magenta there. There we go. Now when you're doing this trick, it's also really nice to do this trick with gray. When you do it with gray, you get a fog effect, like let me show you. It's over here. You see this tree right here where it looks like smoke is coming out of it? I've done that trick where it's a dark color on the inside and a light color on the outside. And the darker ones, it's a light color on the inside and a dark color on the outside. So it gives off a smoky effect. Same, I didn't use any glass panes with it. Now from a distance, this tree is actually looking pretty good. better than the one inside of the kingdom, actually. Now, we'll have to make sure the bottom of the tree limbs will get some coverage too, because we don't want to make sure this tree is nice and warm during the winter and the leaves don't fall out, do we? So to do that, we'll just make it more fluffy. We always need our fluffy trees. There we go. Since I am using the plant a tree trick and do it, my block placing skills for placing the leaf, for knowing what to place for leaves is not exactly the best, but I shall do my best and spread my knowledge as far as I know. Now, this is what a pretty sad peach tree looks like when it's like flat. So we'll bring up this side of the tree so it looks more fluffy. We always good to have fluffy trees. Now, once the plans I have for this world is going to be very, very unique. But once I get those plans in section, the light shining down onto these glass will make the light turn pink and purple, and that's okay. That's okay because all I really want is to make it look like a tree for like you sit under and probably have a picnic in. Ooh, I don't know if I should put some underneath it. I should probably make it way more fluffy. I will speed up this part of the video while I build the leaves. I guess leaves on this tree. So I'll just tell you what to do next once I'm done. And there you have it. A small little peach tree. It's, I don't know what to call this. I keep changing the name. But it's quite cute. You can put like a little picnic basket underneath it. And it's, I've unintentionally put it in a really nice location. Yo, even the bumblebee likes it. And, I put it right next to a lake with little flowers. That's absolutely adorable. It's adorable itself. Now, I guess the next tree to go on to do is a big tree like it's like this. But to explain the big trees, I shall do the medium trees because medium trees and big trees, the way you do them is exactly the same. The only difference is that the that sometimes you would have to make it taller than the previous one or like thicker. The only difference between the medium and the big trees are the big trees are thicker and taller, as the medium ones are uh, still pretty random at best. Now, when we do the medium one, I will show y'all how to do them once I get my supplies. There we go. This should be my supplies. Honey blocks is if you're doing interior. Now you take the oak woods like you did last time, and this time you do not have a specific shape. You do it in a random shape. Just make sure as you're doing it in a random shape, you still have your end pieces where it goes into the ground. So you go in and out when you're making this circular pattern that you've made for your tree. I am currently still making my circular pattern. So give me time and I will give you the next step. Okay, here we go. My circular pattern is almost done and I'll tell you what to do next. As we will do the same instructions as we did last time, but this is the only difference, that it's a random shape. Now you just go in one for your tree stump. You start going in one for every single part of your tree stump. And since it's a more random shape, you do not need to add different shapes on the outside the way it looks. Mr. Sheep, you probably want to get out of there. Now, when you have like a design where it's like a flat surface more than 3 blocks, like more than 2 blocks. So this is 3 blocks, I believe. Yeah, this is 3 blocks. So once you have a flat surface for 3 blocks, you want to make sure that flat surface is no more once you start building the tree upwards. So I will show you how to do that. And since this is so low to the ground, I'll just add a little oak log here. Boop. There we go. We'll add an oak log there so it gives a personality to it. When you're working on a build, make sure your build has plenty of personality and relate it as much as it is to real life, really. So you can look at things in real life. You look, as I said earlier, your trees will never be the same. And earlier I said that I will show you what to do once you have a wall of like 3 blocks or more. Once you have a wall 3 blocks or more, you can go in one for that right in the middle and then build upwards. And you keep that build as you're building upwards. Now, since we're at the second layer, we can do any random shape, like we can go up any high we want and go in any, not any far, just in one. Did that sheep just had a baby horse? I don't know. And you just go up, like right here, up one, and you can also go out one. So you give your tree a bit of a different shape. Baby horse, please don't go in here. No, babe, you need to leave. You just need to leave. Because this is a building site, baby horse. You need to go. No, please don't dance on top of the shroom lights. Thank you. Now, we'll go in one more for this side. And for here too. As we're building, we'll build up the tree itself and make sure none of the outside or inside is the same. Let me place this block. Thank you. Once you have like two, like if you have a tree where it's two like directly side by side, you can always add blocks beside it to give it more of a shape. All I'm doing right now is just giving my tree shape. That's it. And once the third layer is done, you just build up from there. You do not need to worry about adding any outside layers, like any going in anymore. All you need to worry about is going up, like enough blocks so a animal or a horse, that baby horse walking around beside me, won't go in. I am going to turn off the weather if I can get out of my settings and go to the chat, because sometimes I go to my settings instead. There we go. Weather should be clearing up now. Now all we do is build up the blocks about like 2 or 1. Make sure that your blocks are high enough, like the blocks you place down is high enough for no animal can go in it. Now, once you have the base done for the medium trees, you will just start decorating the outside if you so dear desire. Like if you find something you want to change up, you shall do it. This is your tree, not mine. Now, since we have the basis, like the base done, we'll start building up like we did with the small tree. Except we'll do it, keep going in and out, in and out. We'll mostly try to go inward every time we go up. 2 is a good layer to start with. Like once you've got it to 2, you start going up and make sure that sometimes your blocks don't always go in, so the tree doesn't always have to be like the same. When you're building, keep in mind that you don't want your trees the same, as I said before. You can also make sure the stump right here on this side, I've noticed that I have a stump here that's going into the ground, and I am going to build up a little ground side that looks like it's actually digging into the ground, and it's not actually, because I did not put any wood there. Now, we will start building up from the basics design that we have already. And we'll go in a bit. There you go. In one block. And there. Now we have this shape that we had before. And I shall build up at least more than 2 blocks this time. You can build up at least 4 blocks. 3 is good, but 4 blocks is the recommended choice. I am going to go up 3 this time. Because every time you go up a layer, you will add more blocks to it, like how many blocks you want to go up for. That's the same for the big trees. Instead of it being 1 every single block, say that medium trees is, it goes 2 and then that layer is done, and then 3 and then you add 3 blocks up and that layer is done, and then 4 and then you add 4 layers, like 4 blocks, and that layer is done. For the big trees, you need to do +2 every time. So you'll be 2, like at the very beginning, it will start off 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3, because you'll have a third layer on there, and you start counting up from 3. Once you get to 3, you go 3, 5, 7. You start going, and make sure your pattern is never the same. Like, it goes in a bit, like sometimes, right here, as I show you, like this. Yes, this is pretty good. I say it's pretty good for my standards anyway. I am not I don't consider myself a professional builder, but I do have building tips. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. My friends tell me I am a good builder. Yay! And that's also one of the reasons why I'm doing this. I don't know. I'm just rambling. I'll be quiet and I'll tell you what to do once I'm done doing this part, building the stem, I guess. Is once you get it to like this size in general, like this amount of space, you would want to start putting down your leaves and saplings. Now, it doesn't have to be a specific pattern. I am going to do 2 this time because these saplings here, you can put them right next to each other and they'll still grow. You just need a lot of bone meal. Now, you see these 2 will grow. Now I'm gonna add another one right here. And glowy thing right there. Grow. Grow. They'll continue to grow as long as there is no wood on top of them. So if it's just leaves, they'll just grow. Tree facts. Minecraft tree facts. Now, we'll do the same thing we did with the small tree, except we'll make it much more bushier and thicker. And we'll also have to add more place down leaves for this one because you would have to hide the stem part that the tree shows, like this part right here. What was that? Oh, that was a sapling. Now, we'll hide the tree parts, the stump, I guess, and we'll make it more bushier and look like it's a more fluffy tree fluff. Now, tree fluff. What is tree fluff? Okay. Okay. So we'll start off with this right here. And this is a pretty good start. All we need to do is like block out a bit right here. and start adding more tree saplings, making it wider instead of taller, because the height is pretty good for the tree itself. So we'll just add a there we go. Add one of those. Yeah. There we go. That's pretty good. Ain't it? There we go. Now we just need one of those on a different height. Go a bit down, farther. Oh, that's almost perfect, you know? Now, since this is like almost like kind of connected to the wood, you could just do this. That's it. You could do that for the tree to make it look like it's a stem coming out. And boop, boop, boop. There we go. Now this tree get a lot of floofy. See that? Very floofy. We always want them trees to be floofy. This tree kind of looks a bit like a mushroom, so we'll just add a bit down here. There we go. And it's raining. I'll get rid of the weather. There we go. Weather cleared. Yeah. Yeah. We always like the weather cleared here. Grow. There we go. Now it's grown. That's pretty good. It has grown, and now you can see the tree is starting to take a bit more shape. The tree thick. He a thick boy. But this is also good. Now if you really want to, you can add some leaves on the sides to make it like a it has sticks on the side, but you don't see them. That kind of thing. There we go. Now, the instructions for the big one is the exact same thing for the medium one. Just make it taller. That's it. Goodbye, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Until next time, stay happy, healthy, and goodbye.